Hey friends, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Lindsey.
And we're not your average mamas.
On this podcast, we're here to make you laugh, share our experiences, and provide helpful tidbits that will make your parenting journey just a little bit easier.
So grab your favorite drink, sit back and relax, and let us join you in your multitasking.
Not your average mamas.
A podcast showing you that parenting is anything but ordinary.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
It's gotta be.
Good?
Yeah.
Did I fucked it up?
Oh my gosh. A bunch of snow just fell off that tree.
I thought you were going to say fell in my head.
It kind of looked like it
but
did.
I'm indoors, so that makes no sense.
We were standing under that pine tree right now, we would be full of snow.
Oh, gosh. It was like pouring rain on the way.
I know.
In a town that
some of our family is from, it was coming down really hard there, they said. So that there was so much snow, they probably can't even leave their house today.
Oh,
well, Jesse's
damn.
parents live on a farm, so it's like just not worth it. We are child-free by choice today.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is crazy. I think I brought this up. We found another homeschool family with kids the exact same, 3 kids the exact same ages as my kids. And now Mondays we're alternating houses who has all the 6 kids. And today is my day off, which means it's my day on for podcasting and virtual book club stuff. So
yeah,
it's exciting.
It is exciting. I feel like the last time we recorded was like February 7th, I think, or February 8th. Yeah.
You feel like that and you know the exact date. I feel like the last time we recorded was February 7th at 8:29 p.m.
And that's just the gut feeling I have.
Oh my gosh. It has been a very long time though.
Very long time.
Because we banked a few episodes
Yeah.
because I went on my trip and she just got back from her trip.
Yep. And I thought we were going to take a 2-week break, but then I remembered that we ended up rallying and recording an extra episode that one night. So I think it might actually just be a week break, technically.
And she told me to announce to everybody that we're taking a 2-week break. And like an idiot, I
meant,
made
like,
a video.
Prep them, like tell them the dates. Like, hey, we're taking a break. Our next episode will be out like the first week of February or the first Thursday of February or April.
I did say we're taking 2 weeks off. We'll come back with season 2 in April. Early April. So it was loosey-goosey, which is a good thing considering we actually ended up right the day after I posted that there was an episode that dropped. So we didn't know what was going on, but you know, more content is never...
It was hard because we have never spent more time away from each other than we have this like last month.
I know. In years, probably.
I know. It was weird.
It was so weird.
I feel like I was missing a limb.
I know. She like snapped me like when she got back finally from her cruise, and she was like sending me snaps. I'm like, who are you? I don't even know you. It was like so weird going from felt like 3 weeks without even seeing each other.
Yeah. But now we're going to get back on it. Get back on that train. We took a break. We hung out with our husbands, gave them the time they needed.
And on the vacation?
Yeah,
I think I meant on like Saturday.
No. That too.
Yeah, you guys got enough of us, right? Now it's time for us time again.
Entire year.
I told Jesse, I was like, me and Lindsey are thinking about like having you and Jordan stay at our house with all the kids for one weekend, and I'm going to have a sleepover at Lindsey's house. And he's like, why? And I was like, because it's free.
It's free. Who can rent a hotel in this economy when we like? I just feel like I can justify spending like $60 on a hotel when I live 20 minutes from that hotel.
Like when you can just literally sneak into the pool area if somebody has a key and they're walking in at the same time.
Obviously.
Just walk in casually in our swimsuits from the outdoors.
They're like, ma'am, you can pay to just go to the pool for $10.
I heard the pool's free for the public.
But yeah, that's my master plan is to ditch our kids here and sleep over at my house.
We're going to peace out of here.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Do we want to talk about our vacations?
Isn't that what this whole episode's about?
Is it? This whole episode?
I have no idea.
Me either.
I don't even think we came up with a topic idea other than
You
it's
gave
good
me
to
a
take
whole list.
vacations off.
Oh yeah,
from your-
yeah.
Jordan
yeah.
had that idea. So I thought there's no like research
Yeah.
needed for that. This is a good like segue episode.
No, and I feel so. I hadn't been on vacation in 5 years since we went to Puerto Rico. So that was like pre-kid, pre-everything. And holy shit, like those videos that are going around right now, like the reels that are like, I am not a bad mom. I just realized that I need a beach. It's so fucking true.
That's so real.
It's so real. Like, oh my gosh, if you feel like you're burned out, that you're a terrible mother, you're just yelling all the time, take a week off from your children, go to a beach, get a fancy drink.
And I would even say it doesn't necessarily need to be
And read a book.
A beach. I mean, ideally, not everybody has the budget or the means to have childcare
Yeah.
that long. A week is a long time. Since I've had kids, me and Jesse don't have a lot of like date nights per se. But we have always like prioritized like once or twice a year leaving the kids with grandma and grandpa for like even 2 nights. For one night is not enough because of the prep that you need to, if you have kids, pets, packing for them, bringing them to wherever they're going to be, unless your grandparent or whatever is coming to your house. It's so much work. You don't get to like fully relax that first night because then all of a sudden you're like, oh, we got to check out the next morning at 10 a.m. and get back. 2 nights, somewhere with a pool, somewhere with a nice restaurant, just somewhere where you don't get called mom. Maybe mommy. Just kidding.
And daddy.
But it's just, every time that me and Jesse go away for even those like 2 nights or whatever, I come back and I just feel like, gosh, I actually like you so much. Like I genuinely like him as a person, which sounds so funny to say, but like when you're just parents, that's not the true you. And when you just get to be alone, uninterrupted, you just realize like, oh, this is why I fell in love with you. This is why we decided to get married, have babies, do life together. But when you're constantly like parenting, in the throes of parenting, it's different.
Yeah,
working.
It is so different.
Running everywhere, not having to watch the clock.
Yeah.
On vacation.
Oh my gosh. So nice. We didn't even know what day it was half the time. Like we just had like Simon, the director of the ship, he would just tell us, he'd be like, we're in Cozumel. And I was like, cool. I have no idea. I just woke up.
You're like, just tell me when I need to get off of the cruise when my cruise is done. Or like, what? Tell me the day that I officially am kicked off. That's all I need to know.
I literally lost track of time so hard that I thought we were getting on the boat from our last port and I thought we were going to be back home the next day. And Jordan's like, no, we have a whole nother day at sea. And I like gave myself an extra day of vacation in my head. It was so great.
That's so exciting. As opposed to like the opposite way.
Yeah. Like literally for 10 minutes, I was like, we have a whole nother day.
That's so exciting. That's the best feeling. Oh, actually, little tangent. Speaking of losing track of time, last weekend was daylight savings time. Like not yesterday, but the week before. And we went to our cabin, just like an impromptu trip to our cabin, which we're pretty unplugged there. And I was going to do myself a favor and program the coffee maker for the next morning, which I never ever do. But I'm like, I'm going to. So I set the time, set the program, whatever, programmed it for the next morning. We get up and Jesse's like, oh, the coffee's not made yet. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, oh, it's only 6:47. And he's like, no, it's 7:47. And I was like, what? And he goes, you must have set the time wrong last night. And I was like, I looked at your phone. And we're like, oh, well, I guess I just fucked it up. And we just went about our day. We lived our whole day there. We were doing stuff out in the yard and whatever. We drive home, we come back, and we text our neighbors that night, like, do the kids want to come over and play? And they're like, it's kind of late. And we're like, it's 6:30. And he goes, it's 7:30. And so the entire day until bedtime, we didn't know it was daylight savings time. We were so confused. And then I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm laying the kids down in 20 minutes. I thought I was about to have a whole ass play date with the neighbor kids. And I'm like, time for bed, everyone. It is almost 8 o'clock. It was the best. It was actually so nice.
A little surprise.
Oh, it was so good.
Sometimes you just gotta trick yourself.
Well, and honestly, I'm like, how long would I have just continued my life? And I would have never known daylight savings time even happened.
Oh my gosh.
But there
Just
we go.
like-
Talking about losing track.
I just feel like it was everywhere on social media.
I forgot. And then I was like, I said, and you, Jesse, you're berating me the entire day about messing up the coffee maker. He's like, didn't even bring it up once. And I was like, joke's on you. I set that thing perfect. It was the world that had the problem, not me.
It was the world.
Oh, it was.
Oh, gosh.
He's like, I never brought it up again. Well, I've been kicking myself all day. Anyway, I saw this meme this week that I'm going to share on our social media, but it was like, tan me and pale me are two completely different people.
What?
Tan me when I'm tan.
Oh my gosh. I heard impale me and I was like, what?
Tammy, impale me.
Tammy and pale me are two different people.
Let me enunciate. Tan me.
Thank you.
And pale me are two completely different people. But isn't that
So
true?
true.
Even if you get a spray tan, you're like, damn, all right, I'm ready to take on the world.
Finally hot again.
Yeah, pale me needs lots of sweatshirts on. Just one.
Multiple shirts.
I do have 2 shirts on today.
Same.
We're unintentionally matching on top and underneath.
Do you have underwear on?
I don't. Do I? I don't know. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I guess you guys will never know. I don't know either.
I lost track of time and track of my underwear.
Honestly, let me tell you about the worst dental experience. Second worst dental experience of my
to
life.
preface this too, this is just another chatty episode because we haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah, listen to us reunite.
XOXO, your bestie.
I've been purposely not talking to her. We were on the phone this morning and I'm like, we gotta go because I'm about to tell you stuff.
Bye.
Save it for the podcast.
Shut up.
I was like, you want to hear about my traumatic time at the dentist? No, not now. Bye.
We're not recording. Shut your face.
Shut up. Oh, okay. No, I had 2 fillings that needed to be one needed to be replaced. And it was just like, I haven't gone to the dentist in a while. So they're like, we're just going to do both on the one side. So I brought my AirPods, that pro tip that you told me. I had 1 AirPod in, because you still have to listen to them sometimes. But
nope.
Oh my gosh. I was trying to listen to my book, Fourth Wing, chapter 25. And I'm so thankful I had that because it was excruciating. Not the drilling, but my jaw being open. It was my very furthest back tooth on the bottom. And by the end, my body was shaking. My jaw I had tears almost pouring out of I thought I was going to start crying. And I said, I can't do the second filling today. I don't have anything more in me. And he's like, we actually did both of them. And I was like, really? It felt like they were on that back tooth
for
long. Over an hour. My mouth was wrenched open. It was so horrible. I'm so thankful they did both because now I don't have to go back for the second one. But it was the worst. And
it
I'm still
is awful.
Halfway numb. So
I had 6 cavities because I hadn't gone to the dentist in 8 years. And which, is not bad. But I had
they say every 8 years go in, right?
Yeah, right? And then I had 2, 2, and 2. And I also had to get a crown. Yeah. There's this was my only good side.
Your bottom, right?
Yeah.
They can't see you.
Yeah. And I still have 2 cavities to fill because I just did so much dental work in the span of 2 weeks that I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to reverse it with that doctor, whatever his mouthwash is with oil pulling. I do oil pulling. I've been brushing my teeth. I do have a water pick now and I'm hoping that it reverses it. But my teeth don't hurt.
Yeah, my teeth didn't hurt either. And also I had 3 cavities altogether. The third one, I did 2 weeks ago. And that one was a piece of cake. It wasn't bad at all. So then when I went in today, I was just like kind of like shook up because I just did not think that it was going to be so bad. And they haven't hurt, but I've needed these 3 done since like before I had Rhea, who just turned 3. So I was like, I should just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
I don't want it to get like progressively worse. But anyway, I hate the dentist. Fuck dentists. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just, you're the worst.
Like, we need you
We
in our
need
lives.
you and appreciate you, but we hate to see you.
Hate it. I feel like that's also kind of like, oh my gosh, that scared the shit out of me.
Did you forget I had a husband?
I did. He said no one was here
Jesse has been here. I didn't know he'd be here.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard banging and I was like, that's weird. Maybe it's just our water heater.
Who the fuck was he banging? I was at the store. Our water heater doesn't sound like that.
It was moaning.
You know, banging.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been here all along, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I was surprised too when I pulled into the garage, but he was so sweet. He woke up early. I had to get up at 6:30, 6:20, whatever, to go to the dentist by 7. And he got up before me to plow the driveway. It was so nice. And he didn't even need to get up early.
That's nice.
Another reason to
True
add to the
love.
list of why I love him and like him. He does things for me.
Okay. And then what's the list of why you don't love him? Just kidding.
A lot of times he sets the alarm
What gives you
way
the ick?
earlier than needs to be. And he'll hit snooze so many times that sometimes I want to be Tammy and impale him. Call me Tammy! That's like the biggest thing. Also, another thing I hate about him that he started doing. I'm really bad about transferring the laundry from the wash to the dryer. And honestly, we have a family of 5, and my kids throw their stuff on the floor all the time, so it gets washed more than necessary because I don't know, and I'm just like, whatever. And he started this freaking annoying habit where every time the wash is still in the laundry, like still it's sitting in the wash, he'll take a picture and snap it to me.
What a fucker.
Every time it's made me progressively hate him more. And I'm like, the last time he was still here, but he does it on his way out. Like he's about to leave. He's like, and he'll send me a snap and I'll see it's like the full wash. And the last time he hadn't fully pulled out of the driveway yet. And I just like flung the door open. I'm like, you need to stop it. You're pissing me off. I was so irate. I'm like, oh, I hate laundry so much. And yeah, does it get run a second time sometimes? Sure.
That's literally everyone, though. And if
Besides him, apparently. He's 6'4". He's got long arms. He can reach in there better than me. My short
I
little
have to go get a
arms,
stool.
I am like kicking my legs in the air trying to reach the
I
bottom.
fall into the washing machine every time I switch it over.
And then I get washed.
and then he wonders why I leave it
It's
in
a
there.
whole ordeal. But yeah, what do you hate about Jordan?
I don't know.
You love everything because you just got back from your honeymoon.
Yep. Sure. I mean, there's like definitely like ick moments, but
overall,
it's way better than the icks. I don't know. I feel like no matter who you love, like you're always going to get the ick sometimes.
Yeah, he gets the ick when I leave the wash in, and I get the ick when he sends me a picture of it.
Motherfucker.
So it goes back and forth.
Oh, what? Oh, there was one thing today that I was like, what the fuck? But I can't remember. Must not have been
he's
that
perfect.
big.
Must not have been that bad.
Yeah, I'm still coming off the honeymoon phase, so literally.
Yeah, literally. No, okay. I do think like going on the vacation, back to that, like when we got back from our trip, we went to the Dominican for 7 days, 6 nights, and it just was like, I just felt like we like reignited our relationship. Like you just look at each other more like lovingly, like you are like a couple and not just like parents. trying to get through life. And
I feel like it took me, like, I feel if you can afford it, at least do 5 days, because I feel like it took me a good 48 hours to detox.
Especially if you're flying somewhere.
Yes. Took me to like detox from like, we need to do this, we need to get this, we need to do this. Like, I feel like when you're in mom mode, you're constantly like, what's this list? Like, I gotta get it done. Like, you're constantly reprioritizing. Like, you're just like always on to the next thing. And I feel like it took me a hot minute to get out of that. And then also when we got on the cruise ship, we were really tired because we had to get up at 3:30 because we had to leave our house by 4:30. And then I ended up going to bed at like midnight. So I got like 3 hours of sleep. And then I was super hungry. We're both super hungry because we hadn't eaten like all day. And I don't know why. I just like wasn't hungry. And then
just nervous stomach sometimes.
It was hot because like we left in Minnesota attire and arrived in Texas in like Minnesota attire and didn't really have time to change. And so like when we got on the ship and I was carrying a backpack, I was like hot, hungry, and tired, and we had no fucking clue where we were going.
Everyone's like shoulder to shoulder.
Yes, I was about to punch a bitch out, and I was like, this is awful. I want to go. But
you powered through.
We powered through.
When you are a parent going on vacation, I will say you pay for it before and after.
Oh, for sure.
It took me a solid, I've only been back 2 weeks. I think, it'll be 3 weeks this week. But like, it took me until this last weekend to feel like I had a grip on my life again. Because it's like, oh my gosh. I mean, just like, so you do pay for it, but you can fully enjoy it when you get 5 nights is a dream.
Yeah.
6 was great for us because we didn't even get to our resort until 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So it was like barely counted as a night. We like ate dinner and went to bed. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the first night is like a wash because you just traveled and you're tired and you kind of look at each other like, is it a waste of time if we just go to bed?
Right.
And you're like, we also need sleep.
Mm-hmm. To enjoy the rest of your vacation.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was a lot of fun. It was the first time I had ever been out of the country, which was fun. And same for Jordan, because when you went on the Carnival cruise, did you go out of the country?
Yeah, we were in the Bahamas.
What a lying
St. Martin,
fucking shit bitch. No,
St. Thomas. That was it. Those St. Thomas, St. Martin, and Bahamas when we went with me and Jordan went with our parents when we were kids.
It's the first time out of the country without his parents, okay?
That counts for something.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, it was the first time out of the country. Costa Maya was like a little jarring. I feel like if you are going on a cruise and you're going to Costa Maya, just stay in the port or stay on the ship.
If you're going on a cruise going to Costa Maya, don't.
Just don't.
Just don't.
They are just so aggressive selling stuff there. I would just stay in the port, go to the pool, beach it there, and then shop the shops there. It was just so, like, I feel like we couldn't even relax because people were like constantly trying to like sell us stuff, which like I get, like you're trying to make your living off of the cruise ships, but oh my gosh, I was like, can I just drink one margarita and have no one fucking talk to me?
Yeah, that'd be so annoying.
I did notice when I was reading my book, though, they would not interrupt. They would talk to Jordan. And I'm like, Jordan, why don't you bring a goddamn book? I'm just kidding.
Did he not bring any books?
No. He's unliteratured.
I've been this is so dumb, but I've been thinking about rereading the first 3 ACOTAR books again.
Okay, I want to reread definitely the first book because I feel like I will look at it 100 times different.
Oh, I think so too. That's, yeah, for sure the first book, because then you like know the characters and you like want to like experience it that way, and you can.
Yeah, I've heard rereading the series is actually a 10 out of 10, even though like you know what's gonna happen, but I feel like after you figure out what's going to happen, you can like actually like take in the details a little bit better.
This is not a book club episode, but I did finish a book in 2 days this weekend, Ask for Andrea, and I had like mentioned it on our book club episode before when I'd only read like a chapter, and I was like pretty wrong. Oh, well, it was like not anything what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
I was shocked, and so it was very good. But I was just like, I hadn't read anything besides like I keep seeing it recommended on TikTok, but I didn't know anything about it. But I was like pleasantly surprised. I read it really quick. I read it this weekend in like a day or two. So we're back on the train of reading, because I was it took me a long time for 4 and 5 on ACOTAR, but now I want to reread it already. I'm feel like I want to listen to it with Jesse listening to it with me.
Yeah. I'm like labia deep.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. In dark romances, like The Ritual and The Sinner, and oof.
That's what I just downloaded to start today. But I actually, we shouldn't even be talking about books right now.
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry, we get on a tangent. This is our conversation. I read another book this weekend too. I read 2 books.
Damn.
I forgot. The other one was called Where's Molly? And that one
I want to read that so bad. Was it good?
I don't feel like it was that good.
Damn.
I don't feel like it was a waste of time, but like I feel like it was like the book 4 of Akatar, where you're like you're just kind of wrapping stuff up. And the whole time I read it, I was like, okay, there's not like a ton of a plot, like. And then all of a sudden it was over. And I was like, oh, I'm at 90%. Like, okay. Like, it wasn't a total waste. It kind of gave you some history on the characters. Bless you. Gave you some history of the characters. So it was like fine. But Haunting and Hunting Adeline were just
way
much
better.
But anyway, back to our actual episode. Well, I bet anybody that listens to Not Your Average Mamas listens to the book club episodes too, I can assume.
I would 100% recommend taking a break either with a vacation or books, because I feel like books are also a great way to escape your regular life.
Yes, exactly. It just like makes you feel like if you're not trapped in your house all the time.
Yeah.
It
brings you
transports
out,
you
makes
somewhere
you think
else.
of something else.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
so
like
good.
I saw this one reel that was like, I love reading because I feel like I can just be and like my mind is like actually quiet. And I was like, yes, because like I feel like that's like the one thing that I can do where I'm not constantly like, I gotta do this like where my mind is like going other places in the moment. Like I feel like I'm actually like in the scene with the people, and that's all I can think about.
Yeah, it helps you be more present, and it makes you like, for me, it like makes me sit down and rest. Like yesterday, I like snuggled Rhea in my bed, which I never take the time sometimes to like just sit and like snuggle them. That's not true. It's like never, but sometimes I had other stuff I wanted to do. But I literally just sat down, we snuggled, and I finished that whole Ask for Andrea book, like the end of it. And it was just great. And then I was like, sweet, I finished that book. Now I have the day. I don't have any books that I'm reading right now besides my audiobook. And then I just moved on with my day. So, you know, sometimes you do just need to like finish the book. Can't just let it linger in your head.
Yeah, for sure. But I love vacation.
I know. We need to like set up now, like our husbands are thinking about doing a Boundary Waters trip for like 5 days this summer. So
no, they're not thinking about it. They're sending it. It's a full send.
No, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say thinking about it. It's like planned. They're just like figuring out logistics. But that means that me and you
need a 5-day vacation.
Exactly. It's exactly fair.
Yes. And then like Jordan also went and saw his brother in Texas for a week. And I don't know. I feel like Kian is a very easy kid and I only have one, so it's not as bad, but still. I feel like also when Jordan's even around that I'm the default parent. So it's like, okay, bye. Have fun.
Yeah, Kian just wants to be with you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, one perk too is like if either of you are gone, I mean, Kian could go to daycare technically all day, every day. Like, so it's not even as...
Like, especially if we're gone during the week, he's just going to work and he's sending Kian to daycare. Then he's like only spending a few hours with him at night.
Mm-hmm. So I think that we got to get on that.
Yeah, for sure. I just keep seeing squirrels. I'm like,
squirrel.
Whoa.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. ADHD. But yeah, I think... Scientifically speaking, we have a sample size of 2 moms.
There were 2 more moms on vacation with me.
Yeah, so a sample size of 4 moms. And we all say you're a better human after you return.
Mm-hmm. Except for the sadness of having had returned.
Yeah.
The after vacation slump is kind of sad. Like the day after I got back, I was like in the thick of it, of like mom life, of like driving everywhere, getting all my kids, getting my pets, getting my house in order, cooking, cleaning, dishes, laundry. And I was like, oh my gosh, my head was spinning. And I was just like, I said, I just want to go back to the Dominican where someone serves me.
Right.
And says, it's a pleasure. I want someone to tell me it's a pleasure to serve me for once. And then afterwards, I had so much more appreciation of the trip was when I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Just thinking about no dishes,
Yep.
no laundry, no cleaning.
I didn't
someone
even like
serving you.
realize that was going to be part of my life when I went on the cruise, because they literally do everything for you. They make your bed. You don't have to lift a finger, except you just have to like go upstairs to get food and stuff. And even if you didn't want to, you could do room service. Like, I didn't realize until I was like, we saw a comedian and he was like mentioning, he was like, we're halfway through the cruise. You guys are going to hate when you go back. Or he was like, Friday night, you guys are going to come home and your husband's going to sit at the table and he'll be like, so what's for supper? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize.
It's a good like reminder while you're there to like just like soak it up, because not having to think of meals, just like I loved walking in every morning to the buffet, having everything just laid out for you, and you just pick it up and then leave your plate at the end and someone brings you coffee and you're just like,
yeah. We had people sing to us. They were like, coffee, coffee, happy, happy, pastry, pastries.
I love that they, even if they don't truly love they have to, because how could you be that type of, in that job if you didn't?
I don't know. I do. Okay. I had so many questions after like going on a cruise. I was like, oh my gosh, like what are the logistics? Like how long are they on the cruise for? Where do they sleep? Like how much are they paid? Blah, 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 blah. So I did a lot of TikTok research, and it seems like it depends on like what your contract is. So like a lot of people you can like contract for 2 weeks, or you can contract for like 8 months at a time, or you can like just keep going from contract to contract and like stay on the ship for a full year, but you don't pay for your room, board, electricity, or water. And so like people are like, well, you only earn, I think it was like 50,000 a year if you like do the cruise.
No food,
but you literally
free food and stuff
free
too.
food. They're like, we actually save a whole bunch of money, and if you are on like an international waters cruise, you don't fall under like federal
tax laws
or anything like that. So like you actually end up ahead in money because you're not paying all the like these other little bills. Like their biggest bill is like they have to pay for internet, which is a bummer. I was like, I bet they get free internet, but they don't. They had to pay $3.99 a day or an hour or something like that.
That's kind of a lot, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, but they said like that's what they get their most money spent on. And then they do have, because I swear to God, I was walking past the ship and like the little mini windows at the bottom for like the crew, I swear to God, I saw like a club, and a lot of them do have like just crew only like bars down
That'd be
in
nice,
the
because you wouldn't
basement.
really want to always have to be interacting with the tourists.
Yeah. Yeah. And they don't really get a day off. Like they get like chunks of hours off at a time, but they don't truly get a day off unless they're like dry or wet docked to like redo like maintenance on the ship, and there's like truly no one on the ship. But I was just like fascinated. They have a full mortuary on board, like a whole hospital basically.
Is it a morgue? Is a morgue and a mortuary the same thing?
It's definitely a morgue. I can't think right now.
What is a mortuary, actually, though, now that you say that?
I don't know. I feel like that's another thing on the ship is we didn't really have internet. So like I didn't Google anything, and I just forgot for a minute that I could use Google.
My brother-in-law, I asked him, because he's like 12 years older than me, I was like, what did you do before Google when you just like really needed to know the answer to something, or you were trying to solve a debate? And he's like, we let things go. I was like, I can't.
No.
Google is how I homeschool my kids.
The difference is that a morgue is mainly but not exclusively American English, and a mortuary is British English. So it's the same thing, basically.
Oh.
Morgues are in hospitals and medical centers where the bodies are deceased. Mortuaries are where the bodies that are deceased are prepared for a funeral. So, anyway, where dead people go. Because we saw a guy getting like lifted off on an ambulance. And then also, oh my gosh. So we were like boarding, ready to like get on the ship. So we went to go get like our card that you like live by the entire time. And we were just like talking to this guy, and all of a sudden like this AED was like, start CPR. And I was like, what the fuck? And we like looked over, and literally 2 feet away, there was this person on the ground having a medical episode. We're just like about to have the trip of our lives.
They had the trip of their lives.
And the guy
too.
like that was in an ambulance.
No, they just, had they gotten on the ship?
No, like it was a worker
Oh.
They're like behind the counter.
Okay.
And there was like 6 people on them. I don't know what was happening, but they must have like shocked their heart or something.
Jeez.
They weren't doing CPR, and like you could see them. Like, all I could see was like somebody was blocking their face, but I could see their chest and they were breathing. But I was like,
well, they're trying to like onboard you, and they're like, the show must go on. I mean, we're on a tight schedule right now.
the guy was like slowly like trying to block it.
He's like, nothing to see here.
Yeah, and the manager, I didn't realize this until afterwards, but the manager, I think he was trying to move him down to a different like counter, and we had like somebody had directed us to there already, and so we were walking up and the manager was like, oh, customers, and I was like, this is weird, and then I figured out why he was like, fuck, customers.
He just grabs the guy's ankles and starts like dragging out. He's like,
nothing to
this
see
is the CPR zone over here.
We're training.
He's fine.
We're training people on CPR.
And the life paddles or what?
The AED. It's real.
Hopefully that guy's good. He's good. He's fine.
good.
He pulled through.
He's
real
good.
quick.
He was on land.
Did we ever tell you guys about the time that me and Lindsay actually saw a dead guy?
Somebody lose their, like, I swear to God, he did not.
was
I tried to Google it.
Absolutely dead.
Yeah, he was
Do we need to tell you anymore, or is that good?
100% dead. So I live by like 1,000 fire stations because where I live,
It's very highly combustible.
we have. I was gonna say we have like 1,000 fire stations, but no grocery store. And we're getting another fucking Quick Trip.
They're going to see another fire station.
But
What's happening in your area that you need so...
everything's on fire and everyone needs gas. It's really working against each other. And we have no food, no groceries. We live by a fire station and you have to like drive past there to get to our house, and you were dropping me back off at my house, and we like looked over and someone was on the ground at the fire station and they were like gray. They were not the color.
They were on the ground just in the broad daylight in the parking lot laying there getting CPR.
Yep.
I was like, what happened?
I don't know.
We tried looking it up. We could not find anything on it.
Nope. I was just like,
It looked almost like he just like had walked. They had like brought him to the fire station.
there was like a car that had pulled up haphazardly with like the door open. So it looked like,
oh gosh, they just drove him there quick.
yeah.
Well, that was super sad, but that was a really crazy day for us.
I was
Probably
like-
a crazier day for them.
I know. And then I was like, that when we went on the cruise and I saw that, I was like, not again.
Right, that's why I thought of that, because like this.
What are the chances in
Both-
like 1 year you see somebody like having a medical episode getting CPR right in front of your eyes
On the ground. I'm gonna say
like
they both probably pulled through.
I'm gonna hope so.
They're fine now. They're fine.
That other guy though that we saw,
He just had a gray skin tone.
it was cold.
It was summer, I think. Anyway, that was a tangent, it was related to Lindsay's story about people that we
Yeah.
know or we don't know, people we've seen.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it was a fun time. I did make a couple videos of like tips and stuff for first time cruisers. If you want to see that,
Nice.
let me know.
I've been on 4 cruises and I feel like I don't remember anything what to do. Like I remember the cruise, but not like every time when we had gone on 4 cruises, it had been within the span of like 6 years or something. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, next time let's do this. Next time we'll do this. But then we didn't like our last cruise because actually it was the same exact cruise Lindsay and Jordan went on with a different cruise line. But the waves were so rough that we could only get out at 2 out of the 4 ports. And we just did not expect to only have 2 days off the boat in 7 days.
Yeah, that's
and
rough.
It was
sea days are rough too, because I just feel like when you're like in the middle of the Gulf, things just are more rocky. And I didn't get sick, but I almost did that last night. I was like, friends, like we can go. We like literally left in the middle of dinner to like run back to our room because I was like,
Oh, that brings me to highlights of humanity that I have for this episode.
Yeah?
I have the best one ever that I got to witness with my own eyes, and it was from our vacation. So it just ties in really perfectly.
finally, we're on track.
We are. We just brought it right back around. Bring it around.
See, Jordan, we can bring it around.
We can bring it when it's already been brought in, actually, right now.
We brought in the brought.
We are getting further away, though.
Yeah. Can you bring it back in? Are you going to tell us? Or are you just
I'm going to reel it back in. That wasn't reeling. That was a pole. That was a rope. Anyway, just delete all that. Okay. On our vacation, we went out with two different couples we've been friends with for a long time. And I approved this with my friend Grady, my friend Christine's husband, before I said, can I feature this on my How Stuff Humanity episode or part of the podcast? And he's like, sure. And he's like, I'm going to be famous. Just okay.
And then he did jazz hands.
So we had a 5-hour and 5-minute flight, which was a little bit longer by the time you're sitting on the plane and after. And Grady had not been on a plane in 10 years, literally, since their honeymoon.
Oh my gosh.
I know. They just don't travel a lot. And so this was unexpected, but it was a fairly rough flight. And he was a little green by the time we landed, and he was just not feeling good. And so we're just oh, he was happy to be off the airplane, but he was fairly sick. And then we had to take a shuttle bus, a van or whatever, to our resort. And we're how long is this? And they're 45 minutes. It was definitely an hour. And poor Grady was sitting in the bus, just his head in his hands, just sweat just dripping off his face, pouring down his neck. He was so sick. And Emily, my friend who also was on the trip, she's got this brochure. She's fanning him, and we're trying to put the AC on him, and he can't even talk. He's just head in his hands, bent over. Aww. And we get to it's been an hour. We get to the first resort. I don't know why we stopped at that resort. Nobody got off or on, but and he's I need to get off. I'm going to throw up. And so everyone's yelling at the driver, stop the bus. He's going to, or is a van, I guess. He's going to be sick. And even the family of 4 in the back were stop. He needs to get off. And so he stops and he Grady runs out and he just gets barely to the grass and he's throwing up. And this was the part one of the sweetest things ever. This big burly man, the guy that was our shuttle driver, he goes out there and he starts rubbing Grady's back. And another worker ran up too and he was oh my gosh, can I do anything? And they were just these two big men, just as Grady's doubled over puking, and they're just rubbing his back. And then the second part that was so heartwarming was the family behind us were oh, we've all been there. And the mom, who was probably around our mom's age, she's I have Dramamine or however you say it.
Dramamine.
She's I have Dramamine. I've been there. He can have this. And so she literally gave her whole bottle of Dramamine that she'd brought with to him. And because that helps with motion sickness, but she said she doesn't really have it affect her as much anymore, and she was totally fine.
Yeah.
But she's we're gonna have nowhere to buy that, and he's got the shuttle back and another airplane trip. So she literally gave him the whole bottle.
That's so crazy.
And then the shuttle driver, he was here, you take my card if you need anything, and he wrote his phone number on it. And it was literally a card for a gentleman's club. Strip club. He's here, take this. And
also, here's where to find strippers.
Honestly. And it just was the sweetest thing I've ever witnessed in real life.
Aww.
Everybody just being so supportive, people you wouldn't expect to just be there, comforting him. And then somebody's giving their own medicine that they need for motion sickness, to him, the whole bottle. And he was able to go on the catamaran with us because he had that. And the trip back was 1,000 times better. He didn't get sick. And
well, now he knows.
Mm-hmm. Now he'll never do that again, I'm sure, without having Dramamine. But it was just so sweet. It was so unexpected. It was so shitty for him, of course, but we were all just that was the nicest thing ever. And then he took a full Dramamine, passed out for the whole night and next day till late morning. And he's I just feel really hungover. He didn't have anything.
That's so sad, but...
Actually, he had one beer between the airport and the shuttle because it was kind of a while and they were selling beers. And he said he thought that kind of...
Maybe tipped it over, made it worse.
Yeah. So that was really crazy, but very heartwarming at the same time. Be oh, people actually care about others.
Yeah, because I feel it would be very easy to be annoyed to be they stopped the van so he could puke. Mm-hmm. But also I'd rather him puke be outside than inside.
Also, I said, did you mind that he was out there rubbing your back? Because I feel I would like to puke in peace, especially because all of us in the van are just like staring at him. You know, we're all like, okay, we should probably look away, give him some privacy. And then they're like just two men just like right next to him as he's like actively vomiting in the grass. It was just, it sounds so gross now, but like it was just so nice. Like, and then he was good the rest of the time because he had that, and it was just nice.
Yeah, I definitely hot tip, don't buy the off-brand Dramamine. I bought like both because I didn't know how much we were gonna need. So I bought like one of like the on-brand one and then one of the off-Target brand. The Target brand was so gross that it made me like feel worse. So don't buy that one. It's literally like when you... It'd be like taking an Advil and chewing it, because like you put it underneath your tongue and let it dissolve.
Oh, okay.
Is usually how you take it. And so, yeah, the other one, it had like a grape flavor. So it kind of like covered like the nasty
medicine
pill taste. But the other one was like straight up like, if you've ever taken prednisone, it was kind of like chewing a prednisone.
Oh,
like it
gross.
was so disgusting.
I have like an iron stomach, honestly. Like I never get motion sickness. I love like spinny rides at anywhere, and I've just never had any issue with that. So, but Jesse does sometimes.
Oh
so
my gosh. So the last ship day that we were on the ship, that was repetitive, but the last day we were on the ship and it was a sea day and the waves were like, there was a storm. So like it was a little rocky. We ended up going to like the VR place. They had like a VR arcade, which was really fun. And the first two games we played were super fun. They were like shooter games that were like real life. And one of them, I was like in a cage, and every time a monster would jump on the cage would rattle.
That's fun.
We ended up going on like a fake roller coaster, and I didn't know what it was. I thought like we would like shoot things down as a team, but it was just like a fake roller coaster. And then the ship was rocking, and the VR was like a little bit off from like the movement of like the thing that you were sitting in. Oh my gosh. I was like, me and Jordan, we like cut off our hour 15 minutes early because we were like, I'm gonna be sick. And we just had to like lay down for an hour.
Gotta pay the price for doing VR on a ship.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So do the VR while you're like docked, because
that's a good pro tip. Did you add that in your video?
No, I should, but I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. But it helped to lay down. And then also like, I still feel like we've been off the ship since Friday. I still feel like I get moments where I'm like,
is the room
rocking?
Moving? Well,
I feel like I'm
rocking
like
right now in a rocking chair.
I feel like in closed spaces like bathrooms and stuff, I'll still get like that
little wave.
Ooh. Oh, wild.
You've been away from your kid for a while. Do you have any mom moments since you've seen him back?
Well, I feel like he was just so cute when we came and picked him up from here. And he like hugged me and laid on me for so long that I was just like, oh.
It was so sweet. He's like, my mama's here.
Yeah, he keeps saying that. Like he said that all weekend. He was like, Dad's here. Mama's here. Like we had left him his entire life. I was like, oh yes, we're here.
We're here. We're never going to leave until next winter. Yeah. Then we will again. Well, I asked him. He was so fine being here.
Yeah.
And I tried not to like bring you guys up at all, of course, because that just, until like the day before. And I was like, Mommy and Daddy coming home tomorrow. And it didn't even like
phase him.
No, but so he wasn't. I don't think
we definitely talked about it the month leading up. I would tell him every day. I'd be like, Mom and Dad are gonna leave for a week, and I don't know if that helped or if he just like he went with people that he knew too. Like he went with my mom and dad and Jordan's grandparents, Jordan's mom and dad, and then he obviously knows this place really well. And also, it was nice that it was here and not.
You didn't have to drive all the way back. Yes, exactly.
But I do have a bunch of them before we left. So when we were prepping for the cruise, I shopped my own closets downstairs because there's a bunch of dresses and stuff in there that I didn't know if they still fit or look good or whatever. And I ended up liking almost all of them. And I was trying on dresses and stuff. And Kian came downstairs and he was like, Mama, you're a princess?
Oh.
I was like, yeah, I'm a princess.
That's so sweet.
And then, so I just come home and Jordan had like I just picked him up from daycare like 2 weeks ago. I just come home and Jordan was like on the phone in the bathroom and Kian like whips open the door and Jordan was like peeing. And he's like, Daddy, you got a big penis? And he was on the phone with your mom. And he just like shouted that.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, and in the same day, so we were like making supper. And there's a bottle of mustard on the island. And he was like, what's that? And I was like, it's a bottle of mustard. And he's like, oh, you got another one? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, it's beautiful. And it's funny because Jordan always says mustard is the most underrated condiment. I was like,
He's like,
he is your son.
You're right, Dad. It really is. Not only does it taste fantastic, it looks great going on.
And then right before we left for the cruise, Jordan tried to like roughhouse with him a bunch. And he was like, Kian was chasing him around with like a spray bottle because kids love to do that for some reason. And we like ended upstairs and Jordan like whipped him onto the bed. And he was like, ha ha, Daddy. And he went to go spray the water bottle, but it was facing backwards. And he like sprayed himself in the face. Oh gosh. And then, okay, one more. So we were at the park right before we were leaving for the cruise, and Kian is like, I feel like everyone's obsessed when their outfit has pockets because
oh yeah,
why wouldn't you be? And Kian had a sweatshirt on that had a front pocket, and he's like, Mom, look, I have pockets. And I was wearing an outfit that didn't have pockets, and I was like, oh, I don't have pockets anywhere. And he's like, oh, maybe next time.
Honestly, why do babies' clothes have more pockets than grown women?
Honestly.
Like, what do they need to carry? If anything, we need more pockets than men and kids. Yes, in my opinion. Sure. But
what the fuck are kids doing with, like, what is a 3-year-old? He has, some of his pants have like 4 real pockets.
Okay, you know what kids put in their pockets?
Rocks.
Things you don't want them to have. Like
things you don't want to go through the washing machine.
Enoch went to our cabin last weekend. They found 2 freaking frogs in his pocket. Frogs! I hate
Are you going to
frogs.
tell the people?
No, I'm not going to tell the people that ever. Don't bring it up. I can't. Don't even. Shut up.
So,
no!
For Christmas,
no! Don't.
You can donate a frog.
If you do, I'll kill myself.
Okay. That was a little much.
It's how I feel.
Dramatic.
I hate frogs, okay? My nephew literally was putting live baby frogs in his pocket.
They're babies.
How do you think it fit in his pocket?
I don't know. There's full-grown frogs that don't grow bigger than
they're like the ones at my
size.
cabin that are like the size of like a quarter.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason my mom, because he lives with my mom, the reason that they found the frogs was because the laundry basket was moving with the frogs jumping in his pocket. Ew! Okay. Anyway, I'm going to just block that out of my brain. I wish I never brought it up, but I have a couple mom moments.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'll say the one that happened with all our kids when I had Kian.
Okay.
So Jesse was out of town while I had Kian most of the week. And so one night I'm like getting everything ready and the kids are just like playing in the living room. And I find out that as I'm literally in the same room as them, Judah brings over this dinosaur that he had, like a squishy dinosaur.
Yeah.
And they had cut it up with the scissors just to see what was inside of it, making it squishy. Okay, so he brings over this little bowl of like sand looking material. And something inside me said, I have to tell them not to eat that. Like, I was like, Judah, just so you know, don't eat that. And he's like, we already did. What? So he and Kian and Rhea all licked their finger and tried this sand chemical mixture that was filling this dinosaur. And I was like, I didn't. She probably just stood there and watched them try it.
She's the only one that survives.
Oh my gosh. And I was right there. But like, why do kids do the weirdest shit? Like, why did I think, hey, tell them not to eat it? Because I would have never known. I would have gotten my whole life not knowing that they tried it. And I'm like, don't eat that. We already did.
At least he was honest.
I know. He's like, ooh, I'm like, how much did you eat? He's like, do my stomach growl. I haven't been able to eat because my mouth has been numb this morning. So I tried eating eggs and I started chewing on my own face. So I had to stop. So if you hear my stomach growling. Yeah, that was so bizarre. I'm like, how much did you eat? He's like, well, we just licked our finger and put it in there and licked that off. And another thing was actually, I was thinking about how Rhea was like giving you a dental exam. Actually, that ties into today too.
Yeah.
She had these like, we have this like fake doctor kit and there's some like dental stuff too. So she's here on Saturday and Rhea's like looking in her mouth and she just goes, you're going to die soon.
Yep. Dr. Rhea told me I was going to die soon, but then she said I was getting better.
Yeah. So whatever was like messed up in your mouth, maybe she saw those remaining cavities and she fixed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, you're good now. No, now you're healthy.
Now you're good.
Disregard my former assessment.
It's just funny how the way they say it too. She's just like, you're going to die soon. Looks dead in my soul. I'm like, what? I didn't know they were giving out MDs to 3-year-olds.
I have one last one. This is just so funny. So one thing that we do for fun, we don't like watch shows as a family really, but like sometimes we'll like sit in the living room and find like random YouTube videos. Like they love, what is that one called? America's Got Talent.
Oh.
Yeah. Or like that kind of show. We'll look for like craziest, like world record smashing things or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we'll just like try to find random kid friendly, you know, things that we can watch all together, these little clips. And Judah asked, kids are so random and weird. He asked if we could watch people getting in super bad accidents on cruise by the last megalodon. Because he says there's one more megalodon out in the ocean.
I know what he's talking about. I've seen that video.
What? Really?
Yeah, it was playing on here, I'm pretty sure, before we left our cruise.
Oh.
And I was like, that's going to be us.
We do watch sometimes like we did watch one that was like crazy boat accidents, but they weren't like violent. It was just, I don't even know. They were just like
megalodon eating a cruise ship.
By the world's last megalodon. Can we look up that? Like, I don't know how to search that.
Literally megalodon cruise ship. Look it up right now.
The last megalodon, horrible cruise eating a cruise ship passenger.
I guess a cruise ship would look like a giant seal to a megalodon. You know.
Do you want to hear a morbid mom minute? Morbid mom minute.
Let's try it out.
There was a grandpa who.
How do you just know this?
It's not funny. It's a really bad one.
I know. But the way you're just like, and then the baby died.
Literally.
Sorry, it's not funny. Okay.
This is true.
Okay. I'm dead ass.
A grandpa was holding the 16-month-old baby.
I can't look at you.
Okay, cut that out. A grandpa was on a cruise ship holding a 16-month-old baby on the top floor and held her up to the window to look out the window, and it was open, and she fell through and she fell and died. And that's true. And so that is like, I don't know if it's gone to trial yet, but like half of the people say it was a horrible, horrible accident because she liked to like bang on the windows and stuff. But the other half of people are like, you can see the security footage. They're like, it's obviously open and that he shouldn't have been like holding her up that high, that it would have had to be like pretty awkward angle to like her just to like topple down all those stories, like 3 stories or whatever. But so that's crazy.
That is crazy.
And awful, but
every time you just shock me into speechlessness.
I know. I have so much.
You have so many in your brain. You just like pull them out.
And that one related perfectly to today.
Yeah, it really did.
Anytime anyone needs a morbid mom minute, just text me. I got you. My mom always tells me, why do you tell me the most depressing things? But then she'll send me articles that are even worse. It's like,
I get it from you.
I get it
mother.
from you. And we're just going to always one up each other. Have you heard about this terrible thing? She'll be like, yeah. Have you heard about this terrible thing? And I'm like, wow, this is even worse. And then we're just like in a bad, upset mood. But then I store it away to just share with people later. Unwilling ears later.
I mean, you warned people. We said that this was a morbid mom minute.
Yes,
so
if you don't want to listen to the morbid mom minute,
just shut off the we'll let it play to the end and walk
go,
away.
La 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 la. I can't hear you.
Take out your AirPods and still let them play. Okay.
Oh, anyways. I have another morbid mom minute.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, this one's too bad. Did you hear?
No.
Did you hear about the mom that left her 16-month-old baby baby in a playpen for 10 days.
Yeah, from you yesterday, 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah. To go on vacation. That also ties into this episode. To go on fucking vacation for 10 days.
Can't imagine. I just can't imagine. Like,
I feel like she should be left in a cage for until she dies, like just like she did for her baby. Like, I want that lady to not go to life in prison. I want her to be put in a crib, a giant crib she can't crawl out of, with a bunch of food all around it that she couldn't reach, and water jugs that she can just die looking at the food and water.
Yeah.
Like her baby did. That is what I would want for her. Fuck
I just like can't imagine, because I feel like it took me so long to like leave Kian in a room by himself, to leave for 16.
She left for 10 days,
10
but
days?
she was 16 months old, the baby.
Yeah, okay. To leave for, what?
She did get life in prison, but I just don't even feel like that's enough. But no possibility of parole, so good for her. I'm glad, and I hope that prison justice does its thing, because there's a bunch of moms in prison away from their kids, probably against their will. So I think justice will probably come out in a different way. But that was a twofer.
You're welcome.
Sorry. I'm really sorry about that.
Sorry, you're welcome.
Anyway, we hope that you have a fantastic week.
Happy April.
Plan some summer getaway. Just plan a summer getaway with your hubby or significant other.
Or your platonic soulmate.
All of the above. Anything that you can do. Just do it. Plan it. Get it on the calendar. It's already almost April. If you want to have a summer trip, now's the time to plan it.
And it's not my fault if you don't answer the group chat, you know? What did you just send me?
About Usher?
No. It was a TikTok that was like...
Oh, when the messages make it out of... When the vacation gets out of the group chat?
Yeah.
And then everybody in this TikTok video, they're all just sitting on the steps at, like, in this whatever location. They're like, when the vacation makes it out of the group chat, but you're all type B, so there's nothing planned on the itinerary. They're all just like sitting on the steps looking at this river. Just like,
right.
All right.
You always need a type A.
You do. You just need like a tentative plan. I don't even feel like I'm type A or type B. I feel like organized chaos is my thing. Like, I'm types double D. Just kidding.
Winky face.
I
winked at you.
Do you get it?
Do you get it? That's my bra size.
And my brain size.
I'm so large. My brain cleavage.
My brain is large and in charge, and it's thinking about things half the time.
Half of me is planning shit. Half of me is wondering why I walked into the room.
That's about true. Only one half of my brain works.
Okay. My kid stole the other half. Okay.
Exactly. Well, we got to get lunch because my stomach is rumbling so loud in this microphone. You guys are going to be like, have you eaten this month?
I'll be like, what's that background noise? Did you guys adopt a monster?
It's actually that ambient, like, white noise, thunder.
It's actually
playing in the
Say Cheese and Die Screaming monster.
That's our monster, lives in the basement. We have Say Cheese and Die Screaming, and we have voice monsters. Those are both. Oh, shit. One more mom moment really quick. We built a little snowman yesterday. You can see it.
We got to post that on Instagram.
Like 2 feet tall. But the worst thing about it is my kids realized this morning it was haunted. It's a haunted snowman because here's what happened. Rhea took that hat off of the snowman last night. Naya swears she put it away in the glove bin. And then this morning, there was snow on the floor in the house, and the hat was back on the snowman this morning. So she thinks that it came alive, came in the house. One of its arms is gone, and she said that's because it was too warm in our house. It melted its arm off. She grabbed the hat and went back outside. She also said it murdered our neighbor's snowman because when we got up, the head was falling off of that snowman. Mind you, the snowman is slightly over a foot tall, 2 feet tall. Maybe. We couldn't get it bigger.
It was like weird snow. Like, I was like, this is perfect snowman snow, but then it fell apart.
I know, like, you could make a little snowball, but you couldn't. Yeah, so that was like as big as we could make the snowman.
That's as big as our snowman was too.
Okay, it was just so funny because Naya was like calling my mother-in-law this morning. She called and told both her grandma and grandpa in detail about how this snowman is haunted and how they should not build any snowman for the rest of this winter because it might come alive and murder your neighbor's snowman. who is like 6 feet tall. that one
Luckily,
is.
Kian bitch slapped ours down. I literally have a video
Probably deserved it.
of him just like, bam, head off.
Well, and then I told my mother-in-law that I made it look weird. I said, she's like, somehow mom made it look really weird. And I said, I was the only one putting in any effort. I did my best. And
Is that the front of the snowman?
no, that's the back.
Okay.
If you look at its face, it probably is smeared with snowman blood.
Probably. What?
Because it murdered the neighbor snowman.
Snowman blood, just mud.
Likely. And leaves. Just twigs. Anyway.
Anyways,
Have an amazing day. You're
Have
a
an
rock
amazing
star
week.
parent.
you're badass
Book
mother
a trip.
booker.
Mother vacation booker.
Anyways,
Bye. I'm starving, so I gotta go. I really gotta go. Don't you say the first part.
We're not above you.
We're not below you. We're right here beside. Are we saying there? We say there. Right there beside. Right there. Okay.
Yeah, we're not above you.
We're not below you.
We're right there beside you.
Bye.
Bye.